Thank you all very much. Now going to do the Pledge of Allegiance and ask that you please lead us in that.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening. We do have the wonderful introduction of our newest sergeant. I'm going to ask Chief Stephenson to come up, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. It's really my honor tonight to introduce our next Patrol Sergeant, Alex Sander. Alec, if you could not be shy and step on over. Thank you. It's really my privilege to introduce Alec tonight. A little background on Alec. Alec was hired by the department in July of 2016. He came to us with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in criminal justice from University of North Florida and has since earned a master's degree from Lewis University. And looking through Alec's background today, just kind of refreshing my memory, I really think it was his first job that prepared him for his police career. Alec was a gymnastics coach and birthday party supervisor at the St. Charles Gymnastics Academy, which I think has served your career very well. Absolutely. Great. So after graduation from Basic Academy and made it through our field training program with Flying Colors, Alec's original assignment was in the patrol division, where he distinguished himself amongst his peers, earned many accolades, including letters of recognition. And I'd like to highlight two commendations that a very young officer earned that would be Alec. One was some extensive evidence technician work that led to a positive identification and charges on an armed robbery suspect, which that's a pretty serious crime, and hard work by Alec helped a successful resolution on that. And then the second commendation, he was one of the very first units on the scene of a very tragic domestic homicide. And not only did Alec help secure the scene for a successful investigation, Alec also ensured the safety and caretaking of some young children that unfortunately were at that tragic scene, and made them safe and took them away from the scene as much as possible. So just really great police work by a very young officer at the time. When you look at Alec's review of his evaluations over the years, the common theme that you see reflected in his scores and comments are superior scores in the areas of reliability, initiative, attitude, cooperation, and job knowledge, which is very important, obviously, for an officer, especially for a sergeant as well. In looking at those, I drew a quote from his very first evaluation as a young officer, and this was in November of 2017. So with training, he had just been on the street maybe just over a year. And this was a quote from Sergeant Crucial. "If Alec continues to progress in this manner and keeps a positive attitude, he'll be an excellent candidate for a future specialty position." And those words rang true when Alec was awarded the DUMEG agent position in 2020. And DUMEG is the countywide drug unit that we have an officer assigned to. What made this very special in Alec's case is that we require 3 years of police experience in order to even apply for that position. And Alec had just over 3 years as a patrol officer in police experience when he applied for that, and he was a successful candidate. And it's no surprise that when Alec went to serve with DUMEG, he served with distinction, earning several director awards as an agent. In 2022, 2 years into his DUMEG career, he was selected to serve as a team leader in DUMEG. And in that role, it's a supervisory role. Alec supervised the street activities of a team of buying agents. So obviously you need someone that's a good decision maker, has common sense, level head, knows the policies, knows the rules. And Alec fulfilled that role excellent, with much distinction. And during that time, there was a lot of change going on at the Illinois State Police, which kind of runs DUMEG, and in DUMEG, and they were lacking some leadership candidates for an open deputy director spot. They approached Chief Cunningham at the time, and Chief Cunningham conferred with command staff, and we gave our blessing to DUMEG's desire to have Alec promoted to a deputy director of DUMEG, which as a local police officer being selected for that position is unheard of. And to my knowledge, it's the first time in DUMEG's long history that a local agent has become deputy director. And Alec served, again, no surprise, in that role with distinction. And it's a testament again to his leadership, his ability, and his decision-making. Alec returned to us as his time in Dumeg ended. It was a 5-year stint and you were there. No, excuse me, a 3-year stint and you were there 5? 5. Okay. Yeah. So we felt it was time for him to come home. He wanted to come home. So he came back to us this January. He's been serving in the patrol division since, and most recently has been the officer in charge of the shift that he will be assigned as sergeant of. He's been doing a wonderful job so far. Expect nothing but more great success from him. And I would like to point out too that Alec participated in the most promotional process to get to tonight's event. And he ended up at the very top of a list of very competent, competitive candidates for sergeant. So I congratulate Alec on this great promotion. And congratulations.
Chief, thank you very much.
Sure.
And Alec, we congratulate you. Would you mind introducing some of your family behind us, behind you there?
Yes, absolutely. I have my mom and dad here sitting at the end, always supportive of me. My lovely girlfriend. My aunt and uncle, my uncle, also a former police officer,
Okay.
First Sergeant Sander. So trying to continue that on. My girlfriend's family sitting back here as well. And then
Wonderful.
just an incredible amount of police officers, not just from Woodridge, but from around the county. It's just incredibly humbling to see how many people are out here supporting me.
Well, we congratulate you and we thank everyone for being here to support you. This is a wonderful honor for you in your life. I know great things are ahead and we thank you for your dedication, determination, and just excellence all the way around. Very much on behalf of all of us, we say congratulations to you and the best to you. And again, thank you everyone for being here to support Alec. And we wish you the very best. Great work. Thank you very much. Wonderful.
Swear him in.
Yes. Are we ready to swear him in?
Okay. Would you mind swearing him in, sir?
We don't have the sheet.
Is Andy? I don't know that we're prepared. Do we have, thank you. So thank you, Andy. I think we were so excited, we forgot the important part of swearing you in, but we will make that happen. Alec, we would make it happen no matter what, probably first thing tomorrow morning, but let's get it done tonight, so. Okay, I'd let you pick what time.
Later.
You know me, Joe Hennigan. Good. Sorry, you don't have a tie on. No disrespect. Please raise your right hand. And repeat after what I say. I, Alexander, having been appointed
I, Alexander, having been appointed
to the office of sergeant
to the office of sergeant
in the village of Woodridge,
in the village of Woodridge,
in the counties of DuPage,
in the counties of DuPage,
Will,
Will,
and Cook,
and Cook,
aforesaid,
aforesaid,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of sergeant
the duties of sergeant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
And congratulations. I promise we will sign that first thing tomorrow. I will sign it first thing tomorrow, but actually I just wanted to come and say congratulations to you and the
Thank you.
best to you. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Chief. Absolutely.
Okay, one final piece of very important business is the pinning of his badge. He will wear star number 82 for us moving forward. And Alec, who would you like to have pinned your badge on you?
My father.
There you go. There you go.
You're certain. Thank you. This is an incredible milestone for me. Thank you, Mayor Cunningham, Administrator Stonish, and the entire board. Thank you for having the faith in me and putting the trust in me. I really appreciate it. And all I hope is that I don't let any of you down, that I make all of you proud. To my friends and family that are here, thank you as well. It means the world to me that you came out to support me. And then to all my law enforcement brothers and sisters that came out as well. As I said before, it's just incredibly humbling to look back here and see people from around the county, from around the state that have come out just to support me. I mean, I couldn't thank any of them enough. So thank everyone for being here. Thank you for your support. Thank you for continuing to support me. And that's all I have for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. Congratulations. Okay, next, we do have a proclamation that we would like to read for Diwali. And we have our Human Relations Advisory Commission here with us this evening. So if you would please stand, and if you'd like to join us at the podium, I know that you have the proclamation in hand, and Trustee Durkin will be reading the proclamation for all of us. So thank you all for being here this evening and for what will be coming forward here in the next week or so, right? For 10 days, actually, for Diwali. So thank you all very much. Trustee Durkin.
Thank you, Mayor. Whereas Diwali, the Festival of Lights, is the largest and most anticipated holiday in Indian tradition and is celebrated every autumn during the Hindu month of Kartika. And whereas Diwali is celebrated over 5 days, each with their own significance and traditions, with the rituals of highest importance occurring on the third day. And whereas Diwali also marks the beginning of the new year, which is celebrated by family gatherings, gifts, and other traditions, as well as worship to Lakshmi, the Hindu goddess of wealth and prosperity. And whereas during Diwali, oil lamps called diyas are lit to signify the belief that light will overcome the darkness, good will prevail over evil, and love win out hatred. And whereas the Village of Woodridge Human Relations Advisory Committee, HRAC, will host a Diwali celebration on Sunday, October 26th from 2:30 p.m. until 5 p.m. at Bobek's signature events. Now, therefore, Gina Cunningham, Mayor of the Village of Woodridge, DuPage, Will, and Cook Counties, Illinois, in recognition of the Festival of Diwali, do hereby proclaim the days of October 18th through October 22nd, 2025 as Diwali, and encourage all residents to celebrate our diverse heritage and culture.
Thank you very much, Trustee Durkin. On behalf of a very grateful community, we thank you, each and every member of the Human Relations Advisory Committee, for all of your excellent works and bringing another wonderful Diwali to the village of Woodridge and beyond. I mean, people come from all over. It is absolutely a beautiful celebration, uplifting, and truly remarkable. Really kind of touches the heart in many, many ways. I'm so proud of all of your works, and thank you all very much. And please know that I look forward to this event. I can't wait to be there. And I'm sure everyone else who can make it will also be delighted when they attend Diwali. And again, from just a very appreciative heart, thank you very much for all your good works. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Congratulations. Deepak. So yes, thank you very much. If someone would like to say a few words, Deepak, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Deepak Ghosh, one of the members of the Human Relations Advisory Group. First of all, our sincere thanks to the village board, especially Mayor Cunningham, for the Diwali proclamation. It's a recognition of the hard work that the Human Relations Advisory Committee has been doing to bring positive community messages to the Woodridge residents. Message of Diwali is universal, powerful, and positive. The festival of Diwali symbolizes the victory of light over darkness, knowledge over ignorance, good over evil, and right over wrong. As Mayor said, the festival of Diwali, the celebration part will be coming up on October 26th at Bobax, and will showcase colorful, vibrant, funful Indian dances, melodious songs, and Indian musical orchestras. Honorable Consulate General of India has confirmed that he will be in attendance as he did last year. So we are looking forward to that. As part of the Diwali ceremony, we will be lighting a diya or oil lamp, as one of the trustees mentioned. And let me show you where the oil lamp will go. From top there will be 8 stations that would have oil and cotton wig, and we'll have volunteers showing you. And the light would be, the candles would be lighted by Mayor Cunningham, Consulate General, and all the trustees who might be present there. So I sincerely invite all the trustees and your families to please come and join and help us in lighting the candle and experience the vibrant experience of Diwali. If the cultural event of dances and orchestra doesn't attract you, I have something else. We would be distributing mouth-watering, very tasty Indian snacks. So if not for the celebration of dances, please come for the snacks, but keep the joking aside. Please do come enjoy the not only the snacks, but enjoy the vibrant celebration of dances and other events. Once again, on behalf of Human Relations, we thank every one of you for your support and encouragements. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And again, it truly is a really remarkable event. So thank you all very much for another wonderful presentation here. It is our honor to have you here with us this evening and do such great works in our community. Thank you on behalf of all of us. Take care. Thank you again. Okay, next we do have a public hearing this evening. This is an annexation for Panatani. Panatani Development Company is seeking community input on a potential development at 17025 Davie Road. The concept plan review process was created with the intention to get feedback from staff, Plan Commission, the Village Board, and the public prior to formal submittal. The property owners within 500 feet have been invited to learn more about this project and share any comments or concerns that they may have. Administrator Stonich.
Thank you, Mayor. This continued agenda item is a public hearing of the Mayor and Board of Trustees of the Village of Woodridge, convened for the purpose of considering a certain proposed annexation agreement for the property located at 17025 Davie Road, which is approximately 22.75 acres in area. The applicant is Panatani Development, 6250 North River Road, Suite 4050, Rosemont, Illinois, 60018. The applicant is seeking a certain proposed annexation agreement for approximately 22.75 acres, generally located on the south side of Davie Road at its eastern terminus, formerly in the village of Lamont, Will County, to allow for the annexation and rezoning of the property to construct an approximately 327,000 square foot speculative industrial building. Notice of the public hearing in the matter to be considered was published in the Daily Herald on July 23rd, 2025. A copy of the certificate of publication shall be made as part of this public hearing record as Village Exhibit A. Let the record reflect that all other notices required by law have been given, and staff at your discretion, Mayor, is ready to present.
Okay, thank you very much. So actually, we would go ahead and open up the public meeting at this point. So, public hearing, excuse me. Going to ask please for a motion to open the public hearing. So moved. Thank you, Trustee Page. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Antilles. All those in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. Attorney Pat.
Now the public hearing is open, and first witness, please identify yourself for the record.
Kimberly Clark, Community and Economic Development Director.
Do you keep your hand up? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go ahead.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're here tonight to discuss several items on the agenda for the project known as 1702 Davie Road by Panatani. We have John Pagliari, the partner of Panatani Development, here as well. He's been working with us for over a year to finally come to this conclusion, which essentially is annexing the property into Woodridge, as well as entitling it with zoning and site plan approval. The location is shown in the red box with the star. It's currently in it was actually in the village of Lamont, but as of September of 22nd, they did formally disconnect. And that is due to the boundary agreement that the village of Woodridge and Lamont had been under for several years. And that generally is a intergovernmental agreement that communities will adopt so that they can plan orderly, and they create boundaries of where municipalities will eventually annex to, and those boundaries are memorialized in a agreement. That agreement has expired with the village of Lamont, but Panatani did submit their application during the time that agreement was in place. So they've fulfilled their obligation of the disconnection process with the village of Lamont, and therefore now we're here in the village of Woodridge. And the parcel there is located at the terminus of Davie Road and International. It's occupied currently by a residential home. To the east is Woodridge. To the west is a landscaping company currently in Lamont that will remain in that municipality. And then we have the International Business Park to the north. The elevations are shown here. It's a very atypical industrial speculative building, emphasizing the corners with glass for the office space, and then transitioning into the remainder of the building where you will have the tilt-up panels that will be painted, and then you have the dock area that will be for mainly the loading and unloading. Here's the site plan as proposed. It's approximately a 327,000 square foot industrial building designed to be speculative and flexible, as there's currently no proposed tenant. The applicant, as we mentioned, did come before us for a concept plan when they first approached the village to kind of vet out any concerns before they went forward for entitlement. And they were given the feedback they needed to formally submit with us, and that is the plan that we see today. So the site is going to provide truck parking to the west, and they'll have the remainder of the parking for the employees and guests surrounding the south and the east side. The improvements that we worked through as a team were the connection to Davie Road, which is under the jurisdiction of Woodridge, as well as we've created a new connection to International Parkway, which will provide better circulation, not only for vehicle traffic, but also for truck traffic. So these will be improvements that the developer will be constructing on behalf of the village. As I mentioned, there'll be 39 truck docks, and we have the green areas, all the highlighted parking with the truck stalls for trailers to be stored as needed on the site. The south end of the facility is mostly wetland area, and that is where their stormwater management will be maintained. This is a very heavily wooded lot, and much of the southern part will remain untouched. But there is a creek that actually runs through this western side of the property where the proposed truck storage will be. The creek will be underneath that area. Those are the truck stalls and the creek that will be flowing underneath. Again, emphasizing the proposed improvements, we're making a meaningful connection here to International Parkway. In addition to, the developer will be providing a bike path along International Parkway to connect it to Marmon Drive. There is a bike path system currently within the business park. This will be contributing to connecting that further to the west. Utilities for the site will all be served by Illinois American, and this shows the bike path that I mentioned that will be a part of their project. We'll have that connection. And these are all items that are outlined in the annexation agreement as well as the improvement agreement. So the obligations are listed on what will be improved as part of this site. The annexation before us is fairly standard. What we will be conditioned in the annexation agreement is, as I mentioned, the disconnection of Lamont actually triggers for the developer to make a payment to the village of Lamont. We just would want to see a proof of that payment, and therefore, once we do that, we can record all the documents to memorialize the annexation and the entitlements. Another note would be the improvement agreement. This is a standard agreement we enter with all developments. It outlines the public improvements, stormwater, as well as site improvements. The only thing that's unique about this agreement is we did break out those improvements slightly, where the developer is looking for some relief on what is to be covered under a letter of credit versus what is to covered by a bond. And essentially, we are covering all of the public improvements, which would be the bike path, the connection to International Parkway, Davie Road. Those will all be covered under a letter of credit in the amount of approximately $1.9 million. And the remaining of the private site improvements will be covered by the bond of approximately $2 million. The improvement agreement before us is still subject to final engineering and attorney review. Going back to the site plan. And then the other ordinances that will follow will be the formal map amendment to the M1 zoning district. And then we have our standard traffic regulation agreement that will also allow our police to privately enforce any parking arrangements on this site on behalf of the property owner. The Plan Commission did have a positive recommendation for the site plan and the zoning. They had some conditions such as the final plans must be updated in accordance with the village's review letter prior to issuance of building permit. All agreements are subject to final attorney review and approval. And the developer shall submit written approval from the Lamont Fire District and Illinois American before the issuance of a building permit if construction is to begin prior to formal approval from the ICC and the IPA. That concludes staff's public hearing statements for this project.
Thank you very much, Director Clark.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Clark, does the applicant wish to make any further presentation?
He does not, but if you have any questions of him, he can definitely answer those.
Any questions at this time from board members? Anyone have any questions? Thank you.
All right, Mayor, we'll now move to the audience and give members of the audience an opportunity to ask questions or provide statements for or against the applicant's requested approvals. Should a member of the audience have any written material or other evidence that you'd like to furnish to the mayor and board, please do so now, and we will make sure everyone gets copies.
So we'd like to open it up to public comment. Anyone that would like to come up and make a public comment? Good evening. Hi there. We'll have you come up to the podium and Attorney Pat.
Yes, again, can you please state your name and address?
Laura Regal, 11S 236 Carpenter Street, Lamont, Illinois, 60439.
And if you would raise your right hand, because this is not like public comment, it's public testimony. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Go right ahead.
I just had a few questions and concerns related to this development. One, I'm looking at your photograph up there with the International Parkway. It appears that the court that what used to be, that is currently at this intersection is not, is going to be removed. I cannot tell by the drawing that's showing, is there going to be a light there?
Again, it's a little different than public comment where the board does not respond in a public hearing. If there are relevant questions, they can be asked. So if you have an answer, certainly Director Clark, please provide it.
There is not a light as there is already a signalized intersection just a little, I guess it would be east of this access onto International Parkway.
Okay. As somebody who travels this particular area on a regular basis, I did submit an email that was submitted to Gina tonight, and to the other board members' email addresses go to one person. So it was submitted to those two individuals with my opposition.
If I could, I'm going to ask a question. What time did you send that?
During the work study.
Oh, so we were in session already. So in the study
Yeah,
stuff.
you had
Okay, so yes, we've not received that.
Yeah. So the other thing that I have is that particular section of road from Davie going to Joliet Road. There is a lot of warehouses already currently there, and there is a lot of semi trucks and parked vehicles on that roadway. The concern that I would have would be for emergency vehicles, and if the village has an ordinance already in place that there shouldn't be any vehicles parking on Davie Road because the semis are parked on Davie Road consistently. So I guess, is there an ordinance that the village has for Davie Road for semi-truck parking?
Generally, we have our roads restricted on one side of the road. It'll be designated with a sign, and I believe we adopt them via ordinance where we restrict any parking.
Okay, well, as I'm making you aware of right now, there is parking on a daily basis on Davie Road with semi-trucks. So that ordinance needs to be enforced. The other concern that I have regarding this is if there was any if this project is consistent with the comprehensive plan currently in place with the Village of Woodridge?
Yes.
And has any traffic, environmental infrastructure and health and safety analysis been done?
Traffic report was completed. The developer provided all of the necessary environmental documentation for their project and their permitting even through the Army Corps. And they're complying with the stormwater ordinance.
Okay, was there anything done with the creek or the waterway that you brought up earlier?
That's all regulated through the Army Corps. So the developer is working through those agencies.
Okay, so they've been completed and are compliant with the current plan?
The final engineering is still going to be approved here. It's still subject to final engineering, but it's there's no issues with it.
Okay. And also one more question. Does it adhere to the clause 962 in the code that requires any deviation from the plan to be justified with explicit findings?
The findings of fact are a part of the ordinances that the board has that is from the Plan Commission.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to address the village board on this matter? Okay, thank you. So if there's nothing, oh, we do have a comment.
No, that's the young lady
Next.
just spoke.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Well, if there's no one else to speak.
Yes,
you can
so
motion to close.
right, so at this time, if there's no one else, we will go ahead and I'd ask for a motion to close the public hearing. So moved. Thank you, trustee Angeles. A second?
Second.
Thank you very much. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The public hearing is closed at this time. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So we'll actually move on to public comments. These would be public comments that are not related to tonight's agenda. Going to pause to acknowledge any written public comments that have been received prior to our meeting that do not relate to tonight's agenda. And if so, we would enter those into the public record. Administrator Stonich?
Thank you, Mayor. We have two from Samantha Spurlack and another public comment that was anonymous. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Going to now ask if there's any members of our public that are here this evening that would like to address the village board. Again, these would be items that are not on tonight's agenda. If so, we would invite you to the podium. Hello and good evening. And if you just wait just a moment, we'll have
Yes.
Pat.
As always with public comment, pursuant to 1-5-5 of the Village Code, all speakers shall provide their name and they'll be limited to 3 minutes per person per topic, and comments must be made in a civil manner. Name, yes. Thank you. Yes, sorry, I apologize.
That's okay.
And I will let you know when you're getting close to your 3-minute time. Oops, let's try again. I got to get to my little watch here.
Well, we welcome you and thank you for being here.
Yes. And if you could state your name and address for the record.
I will not give you my address, but I am CLR and I am a resident of Woodridge.
All right, CLR is not your name. Can you please state
That
your
is
name?
my name.
Okay. The Village Code requires you to state your name. Your name is not CLR. You want to state your name for the record or not? If you don't, you can't speak.
My name is Chanel
And what's your last name?
Reardon.
Thank you. You have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Question. On my card, I'm a person with a disability. Shouldn't it be 6? Mr. Pat? Am I still limited to 3 minutes, sir?
Your clock is running, ma'am.
Can you answer my question? I'm sorry. Is that inappropriate? Okay. My first question, as I stand here today, I would just like to ask if the mayor and the board and the appointed, can you see me? While this question may seem or appear bizarre, I've had copious amounts of emails sent out, documentation addressing concerns with the Village of Woodridge about vendors and issues that I'm facing as a person with a disability and someone who's indigent. I would like to know if I'm not getting the answers that I deserve as a taxpayer here and as a resident. What should I do differently to finally be seen, be heard, and be given the respect that I deserve? I mean, if you look at this, I can't even get a basic answer asking about my disability status. Instead, I'm just ignored and faced with the snarky or persnickety answer that the clock is running. So I hear about all of these decrees. I see proclamations for persons with disability. Here it is in October. I am a person with a disability. I'm never seen. I'm never heard. I'm always referred to someone else. So like, I'm shaking because I'm nervous. I don't know if the police is going to be waiting for me to arrest me when I leave this meeting today, but I would like to know when the village board and the mayor is going to answer me. I don't think my question is absurd. I don't think that I'm imposing, as again, I'm a resident here, so Mayor Cunningham, can you please help me?
Mrs. Reardon,
Yeah,
after this meeting, I'd be happy to speak with you. Okay,
this evening.
this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Eric.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else here that would like to address the village board, please? Okay. Thank you all very much. We will go ahead and go to items that do appear on tonight's agenda. And if so, we would ask that our village administrator please share with us any for the formal record for the village. We've received any public comment that have been received prior to our meeting that do appear on tonight's agenda.
We have not, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to ask if there's any members of the audience here this evening that would like to comment on any item that does appear on the agenda tonight, please. And if so, we would invite you to the podium. Would anyone like to address the village board at this time? Okay, well, again, we thank everyone for being here. We will move to our omnibus agenda. So under tonight's omnibus, I'm going to ask for a motion, please, to approve items A and B and acceptance of items C and D. A motion, please. So moved. Thank you, Trustee Page. And a second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. Is there a request for any item to be considered separately this evening? If our village administrator would please read the items into our formal record.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Cunningham. Members of the board, good evening. Item A, ordinance 2025-40, an ordinance amending the village code of the Village of Woodridge, Title 3, Chapter 3, this is liquor control section. This would be a removal of one Class A3 license. Item B, ordinance 2025-41. This is a no parking ordinance, a revision there too, with respect to no parking along Newport Drive, Park Lane Court, and Catherine's Crossings. And then lastly, items C and D are prior board meeting minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And if our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan?
Aye.
Trustee Durkin?
Aye.
Trustee Annalise?
Aye.
Trustee Nekovar?
Aye.
Trustee Page?
Aye.
Trustee Martinez?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone, very much. Under presentation of communication, my mayor's report, we do have several coming up events. And one is our first ever Woodridge Trunk or Treat, and we're partnering with the Woodridge Public Library. This event will take place on October 25th. It is Saturday from noon until 1:30 p.m. The village, again, will host this first ever trunk or treat in partnership, as I said, with the library. It is a free, family-friendly event with more than 20 decorated vehicles from our local businesses and organizations. We encourage everyone to come in costume and enjoy an afternoon of fun at the library. It's right out in the parking lot. You won't be able to miss us. We will, again, be at 3 Plaza Drive in Town Center, right out here on the other side of the Village Hall. On Sunday, October 26th, the Woodridge Human Relations Advisory Committee will host our Diwali Festival of Lights celebration at Boback Signature Events right here in Woodridge and Seven Bridges from 2:30 till 5 p.m. This free event will feature live music, dance, performances, and inspiring speakers. It is a great opportunity to learn about Diwali, this Festival of Lights, and celebrate with our community and unity in the community. Additionally, our community partners are offering more seasonal fun. The Woodridge Park District will host its Haunted Forest Walk, and the Woodridge Public Library will present its Not So Scary Haunted House. I encourage and ask everyone who is up for some fun to come out and visit their websites for more information, and please do come out and be part of these activities. There's really something for everyone, and we hope that it'll be just a wonderful celebration, and we hope to see you there. That is my report. Administrator Stonich, your report, please.
Thank you, Mayor. First item A, ordinance 2025-47 is an ordinance granting a major PUD amendment to final PUD plans. This is the Demeter Millwork at 7145 Janes Avenue, and Director Clark has a brief presentation for you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you. Tonight we have the Demeter Millwork project here just for a major amendment to their PUD. This was approved back in January of 2025. Since then, they've been working hard. As you can see, the building is under construction. Ash Desai with Helios Construction is here with us in the audience as a representative of the project and the company. And they are filling an infill site here just around the corner known as Midpoint Park, Business Park. It's been a long-standing vacant lot that we're happy to find a home for someone to bring a wonderful project to here in Woodridge. So it's in the ORI district, which does allow for, all sorts of types of businesses. Demeter Millwork will be bringing their millworking manufacturing facility here along with many employees and basically their corporate office. So they are representing the business park as with the other two buildings that exist there today. When this was approved some time ago, you can see the style of architecture that was approved with the PUD, lots of brick, lots of glass. But several years later, as we are now left with a vacant lot, we worked with we worked with the applicant to try to bring forth a project that could blend in as best as possible, knowing it's not going to be exact. So why we're here today is the architecture was a very big point of conversation. And so as the project has progressed, they've recognized maybe some changes were needed in those elevations. Particularly, this is what was presented to the village board and was adopted using lots of glass and other metal and wood material. This is the front of the facility facing 71st Street, and the back of that would be the manufacturing millworking activities. And essentially, the direction was that as much as possible, use the natural tones that are already within the business park as part of this development. And as we've gone forward, they've decided that the color pattern they'd like to change. And this is what you see today, actually what staff and the applicant have come to conclusion that this might be the best color pattern to mimic kind of the color tones that are out there. And the Plan Commission did agree as well. This is what you see today, actually, and what I'm highlighting in the red box is initially they desired to paint the building, but then they found that using this material over the existing stone gave it some texture and warmth. And that was also a slight change from the approved plans, which again, the Plan Commission agreed that this is a good direction, and it actually picks up the limestone that's in the adjacent buildings. And then the area you see in white, that is a specific area that we are going to be changing the color there. It's the loading dock as well as the dust collector. The dust collector also was modified throughout the process as they worked through. They found a more efficient one, but it was taller color and size, and we felt it warranted just an opportunity to come back and make sure that we were all satisfied with the changes. And so here is the rear of the facility, which would be facing our future Public Works new building. And you can see there that little protruding piece of equipment, that is the dust collector. Throughout this process, we were concerned about noise, and we did confirm and did a third-party study on the sound that this will not generate any additional sound. It will be all in compliance with the IEPA regulations. But the goal was to try and take this piece of equipment and blend it in as much as possible, as this really is kind of an office park, but we recognize we're trying to make this fit as best as possible. So actually, when we were at Plan Commission, the color of the back of the building was still an open discussion, and I can say that Ash has provided this color. Staff is comfortable with this. We think it will blend in. The reason for the darker color also is just this area will naturally, with the truck traffic and things, the wall will kind of get dirty over time. So this gray will help kind of, cover that up slightly, as the rest of the building is fairly light in color and is reflective of the area. So staff is satisfied and feels that this is a great compromise, and we appreciate the work that Ash has put in on this, as we know they're under construction right now, and these are very time-sensitive decisions. But the Plan Commission did have a favorable recommendation, and that's what is before the Village Board tonight, to support this major amendment to the facades as shown. And if there's any questions of me, happy to ask, and also Ash is here as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Director Clark. Any questions of Director Clark at this time? Or Demeter? Okay, no questions. All right, wonderful. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the updated information and photos. That is very helpful. So we have before us ordinance 2025-47. Going to ask please for a motion to approve ordinance 2025-47.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Kagan. A second. Thank you, Trustee Durkin. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, if our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Durkin. Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Trustee Nekovar.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez. Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Right, Mayor. Moving on to the next items, actually B through G are all going to relate to the Panatani Davy Road proposed development that was board was briefed on during the public hearing. So as we move, we'll take one by one. Item B, Resolution 2025-99. This is annexation agreement regarding Panatani Development Company, 17025 Davy Road.
Items B through G. So before us, we have items B through G, all related to the Panatani development. And I'm going to ask if the village board is comfortable with us taking this as an omnibus, or do you want to go through each one? Omnibus. Okay, omnibus. Anyone? Okay. All right. We will go ahead and proceed. So I'm going to have Attorney Pat walk us through that. Thank you.
So if somebody wants to make an omnibus motion for the approval of items B through G of the administrator's report, that would be sufficient as long, obviously, as we have a second.
Wonderful.
I'd like to make a motion to accept items B through G as an omnibus.
Omnibus,
agenda
thank you.
item.
Thank you, Trustee Kagan. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. Any further discussion on these items? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Nekovar.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Durkin.
Aye.
Trustee Annalise.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone.
Next item then is H, which is ordinance 2025-44. It's an ordinance amending Title IX, Chapter 3, Section 3 of the Village Code of Ordinances in reference to permitted accessory buildings, structures, and uses. This ordinance would specifically amend the village's regulations for single-family residential garages. And Director Clark is back before you for a brief presentation.
Thank you. As you all know, we did go through a very lengthy process of updating our zoning code. And as we continue through that, we always find opportunities to still do some cleanup and or we become aware of items that maybe need to have a second look. So just to give some background, we have regulated garages throughout our community and we've amended it throughout the years. Just kind of gives an example of how we have over time increased the size of garages, detached garages as well as attached garages. In general, the concept behind regulating these structures is that detached garages are accessory to the principal use, and you're trying to make sure that there's a ratio kept that the garage isn't going to be the dominant use. Where communities have come into issues with not regulating detached garages is where you start to see these being used for home occupations or things that are beyond the scope. So naturally, regulating them just helps keep them in character with the neighborhood and also can limit any potential of uses that may not be appropriate. So we did hear this at the October 5th Plan Commission meeting, and they have presented findings of fact for you to review for the changes and did have a positive recommendation. Outlined the change in the new code. Essentially, they thought it was better to have a percentage regulating the maximum size of a garage for an attached garage versus a hard and fast number. And this was due to the fact that we are seeing homes in our community that are quite large and they are on larger lots and they were still subject to this strict size. And so we took a look into that. We looked at other codes, and this is maybe a more proportionate way to regulate. If you have a 4,000 square foot home, what is 1,000 foot or more garage? So this is the conclusion that the Plan Commission came to is limiting it to 50% of the gross floor area of the first floor living space, or 1,000 square feet, whichever is greater. The second part of the code that we changed is the third bullet point, and that is the fact that there was concerns about the aesthetics of these garages, especially when they face right-of-way, that they did want to limit that still for facing the right-of-way to 27 feet. That gives you a standard 3-car garage. If somebody did want to do something larger, they would look to encourage it to be a side load garage, or you can do something in the back of the garage. So it gives the benefit of those that can do a rear load or a side load garage to not have that limitation. And this kind of was some things that came out about a recent variance case was the concern about how much of that garage looked in the right of way. So this is another way to aesthetically kind of regulate garages that face the right of way with 27 feet. And this won't create any nonconformities currently in our community. Lastly, we just want to ensure that all garages are fully accessed by an improved surface, specifically a driveway, just to make sure that that wasn't in our code, and nor that I think it's an issue, but it's something that generally is commonly in codes, and we just wanted to make sure that that was in there. So here's some examples. This is one of the cases that triggered us to think about our code. It was on Oldswood. And just to show you what the new code would allow, it would still, the first floor living space for this was 3,664. So they, at the 50%, they would be able to have a 1,832 square foot garage. Actually, what they proposed was slightly less. They still would have actually needed a variance because of the width allowance. They were slightly exceeding that with 36 feet, and they were on a corner lot, so they would have had to comply with the 27 feet. I mean, variances are necessary. You can't have everything codified, but I can say variances do allow an opportunity for communities to hear public input, as well as we can also help maybe make some suggestions. And with this particular case, the applicant did elevate some of the architectural features on this side to enhance and diminish the look of the garage. So going through that variance process did, I think, bring a better project to a unique situation. In our community, we have a subdivision in Oak Bluff, and that is where we do see a lot of our estate homes. Many of them have very large first floor living spaces, and we wanted to give an example of a home that was constructed and how they would have, with the 50% threshold, they would have been allowed a 1,197 square foot garage. When they built this, they actually built it with a 782 square foot garage with a workshop. They essentially created a wall to separate the garage from the workshop to somewhat get around the 1,000 square foot limitation. But again, this is also a side-loaded garage. It's not visible from the right-of-way. So this example would not have a limit on the amount of doors that they could have because it's facing an interior yard. And they would have been able to get slightly a larger garage on the 50%. Here's another large home, again, showing the example of a much larger square footage of 4,000. And they could have gone up to 2,000 square feet, but the applicant only built 858. So at some point, obviously the focus of these homes is their living space, not their garage. But we wanted to show you how extreme and how large the 50% could go. But again, this is a side-loaded garage, which would not have the limitation of the width, but they could have gone larger if they wanted to. So we think this does help clear up the code slightly, gives a little more flexibility for those larger homes in our community, create some guidelines if it's a side-loaded garage versus a front-loaded garage. We don't think through our analysis we will create any nonconformities by making these modifications. And I think it's just reflective of maybe what we're starting to see in new construction, as other communities aren't as strict on the square footage. And so the Plan Commission did make a recommendation to the village board to approve this ordinance as presented.
Thank you very much, Director Clark. Going to ask if anyone has any questions. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So we do have before us ordinance 2025-44. Going to ask for a motion to approve that ordinance, please. A motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Antilles. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Page. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Nekovar.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Durkin. Trustee Antilles.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item is I, which is resolution 2025-104. This is for construction inspection services for the Panatani proposed development at 17025 Davie Road.
Thank you very much. So we have before us resolution 2025-104. Going to ask for a motion to approve that resolution. A motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Nekovar. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Antilles. Any discussion on this item? Our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Durkin. Trustee Page.
Aye.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Antilles.
Aye.
Trustee Nekovar.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item J, resolution 2025-101. It's a resolution ratifying a labor agreement between the Village of Woodridge and the Metropolitan Lines of Police, Local 51, and authorizing the execution thereof.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to ask for a motion to approve resolution 2025-101. A motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Martinez. A second?
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Antilles. Any discussion on this item? The clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Martinez.
Aye.
Trustee Durkin.
Aye.
Trustee Kagan.
Aye.
Trustee Antilles.
Aye.
Trustee Nekovar.
Aye.
Trustee Page.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next item K is ordinance 2025-45. It is an ordinance amending the rates of an employee salary plan for employees of the Village of Woodridge for the 2025 salary administration plan. This is to specifically include the position of the police social worker, which the board authorized. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-45.
So moved.
Thank you, Trustee Page. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Trustee Antilles. Any discussion on this item? If our clerk would please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise, trustee Nekovar,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez,
Aye.
trustee Durkin.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Last item under my report this evening, Resolution 2025-103, a resolution to approve the 2026 fireworks contract with Mad Bomber Fireworks Productions.
Thank you very much. If I could please have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-103.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Antalese. A second.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Martinez. Any discussion on this item?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, please.
just for comparisons, how does this contract for the 2026 fireworks compare with the 2025 contract?
I'll ask our administrator to help us with that one. And it may be Jamie.
Yeah, I'm happy to help if you can hear me okay. So compared to 2025, it's significantly less in shell sizes. And the reasoning for that is because of an increase in tariff costs compared to our budget. So there are less shells this year compared to previous years. However, Mad Bomber has said that they are dedicated to honoring tariff costs. They included a nice cover letter, basically stating that if the tariff costs end up being less, that they will give us more shells. And then if they end up being more, that they will honor the amount of shells that they already said they would give us.
So does that equate back to the show length time being relatively the same?
The timing of the show will still be the same. So they're still going to light the fireworks off in the same manner. And they have still given us a 25 to 30-minute show. There's just going to be less shells. So it could basically less explosions, probably like bigger fireworks, maybe probably smaller shell sizes. And then they could be paced a little slower than usual to get us to that 25 to 30 mark, but it shouldn't be a large difference. It shouldn't be much slower than previous shows that we've had.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? With nothing further, I'm going to ask our clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Kagan,
Aye.
trustee Annalise,
Aye.
trustee Nekovar,
Aye.
trustee Page,
Aye.
trustee Martinez, trustee Durkin. Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone. We have no further active agenda items or unfinished or new business to come before the board, so we are going to talk to adjournment. We have no further business to discuss in this meeting, but we do have the need for to convene, an executive session immediately following our adjournment. And actually, we'll probably need a few minutes after that. The purpose of this executive session is to review and discuss pending, probable, or imminent litigation and the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the public body. Going to please ask for a motion to adjourn this regular meeting of the village board and then to convene an executive session following our adjournment and a short pause. Going to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, trustee Page. And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, trustee Antalese. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. It is 8:12 p.m. We are adjourned. We thank you all for being here this evening.